Let's just have the BSE stock price up. It was the biggest volume-led loser this morning, down about 7-8% the last I checked. The reason at the margin, perhaps, of course, is that NSE is now sort of ramping up its game in terms of gaining back some of the market share on the F&O side. Sriram Krishnan is with us, a Chief Business Development Officer at the NSE, the country's largest exchange. Sriram, good morning. Great to have you with us here. Thank you very much. Prashant this side. What is the reason behind the move, Sriram?
Good morning, Prashant. Over the last few weeks and months, we have seen many actions taken by stock exchanges in the country with respect to the expiry day. And you've seen, expiry day shifts being undertaken by other exchanges. And there are also some new exchanges who are planning a foray into equity derivatives to launch weekly expiries. I think it all follows from the SEBI rules, which require only one expiry per exchange. But if the intention of the regulators is to have one expiry, I think it makes sense to choose the optimal day of the week. It's a routine exercise that we undertook, and we feel that Monday would be the best day for our expiries.
Okay, all right. Hi, good morning, Mr. Krishnan, and good to have you on the show. Well, it's clearly made the other exchange very nervous in terms of a stock price. That aside, the rough analysis that we have got in the last 12 hours or so is that BSE had a higher market share on Friday as well as on Monday, which NSE now believes that, with changing the expiry could pull it back. Did you all do some rough calculations on Thursday? The rough market share, I believe, is in low single digits, while on the other days, that's on Friday as well as on Monday, it's in the vicinity of around 15 to around 20%. Can you give us some numbers if you've done some back of the envelope calculations?
No, the rationale for this change is not really, anything on the numbers and in terms of, what we will gain or how we will look like if we make this change. The rationale for this decision is more to take into account the fact that there are lots of geopolitical events, developments over the weekend, and Monday is a great day to therefore have the expiries. That was how we wanted to think about it. Of course, we have been receiving feedback in the last 11 hours. We will, obviously keep all the feedback in mind, but we've announced this change keeping, the efficiency and the seamlessness in mind. And, obviously, these things can be reviewed from time to time by exchanges, and we will therefore review if need be.
Now, Mr. Krishnan, morning, sir. Thank you so much for joining in. So two parts to that question. One, you're saying that there are a lot of geopolitical changes when the counter argument could be, and that's a point that, our colleague Nigel here was making as well, that now if you have a position open on Friday and you have to come back on Monday and Monday's expiry, so you have to square it off, there could be a lot of, volatility in between. Weekends, there's a lot of news flow. That's one. And second, there must have been some thought in terms of volumes. Do you feel that Monday will give you more volumes than Thursday? Is it that you've sort of been analyzing this at Monday for other exchanges that chose Monday till now? Were they doing a lot of business, which is what you want to sort of now capture as well?
So I think the way to look at it would be, over a period of time, we have been meeting and watching to see what could be best based on feedback from various constituents in the market. And the way we want to look at it and the way we want to see this is, that we have announced a change for the first time after a really long time. And the others have done it. BSE did it from Friday to, Tuesday, a few weeks back. And, I think they would have had similar reasons and similar analysis to back their judgment and decision. So this is a change which we have similarly undertaken after our internal reviews.
Got it, Sriram. Just a quick point. Now, there are, as many are saying, maybe now BSE changes its expiry days, right? It becomes a bit of a, it's maybe too much change. By the way, do exchanges need SEBI approval for these changes?
No, the SEBI rules permit a change in the expiry day, and prior approval is not required. But we have duly intimated SEBI about the change as required by the rules.
have you heard from SEBI at all with regards to all of this between when you've announced this and now? Because if these days keep changing, it's like a bit like a cat and mouse. I mean, then what happens? And will at some point, SEBI step in and say, well, you got to run these by us. Otherwise, there's just too much change. Sriram, any thoughts at all?
Well, I'll tell you. I mean, this can possibly, be resolved if we all start appreciating the spirit behind SEBI's rule changes. And I think it is fair to say that SEBI thought about the expiry day activity, the huge amount of speculation going on, and they deemed that, reducing the number of expiry days would be the best way to confront this malice. And if that's really the case, then a single day for all expiries in the entire market is the real solution. And so proliferation of weekly expiries on every day of the week through multiple exchanges, like MSCI, for example, has a plan. Likewise, NCDEX seems to have a plan. MCX seems to have a plan. Then there could be OTCI who might come up with a plan. So proliferation of weekly expiries through multiple exchanges is no different from one exchange potentially offering expiries on every day of the week. So perhaps, the solution lies in, one single expiry for the entire market. That could be the effective solution to this malice.
And I was saying exactly this in the morning, Sriram, that, everybody's got a plan. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all 5 days, you'll have expiries eventually. So then, one exchange, one expiry per week. I mean, that idea is lost in that sense, right? So as you're saying, will you propose this to the regulator? Maybe that is the way to go. As you said, that is a solution, a way out of this, how this can be resolved, as you put it, Sriram.
No, I think, in discussions on this topic, these sorts of ideas have already come up and we've gone through many iterations of what are potential solutions to some of these challenges. And we need to do the right thing in order to protect investors, particularly retail investors. If we really believe that there's a lot of speculation on expiry days, then the solution lies in controlling the expiry day activity, and there should be just one expiry day for the entire market, for all the exchanges put together. I think that will be a fair approach, and possibly, it's time for the industry to think about it.
I think that's something which I think we'll have to sort of take note of and build on and get more opinion, etc. But that's an important point. Yeah, guys.
Yeah, just Mr. Krishnan, to sort of round off that point, and your point is well taken. The whole idea was to limit retail speculation. Then are you really limiting it? Because it's not one exchange offering 5 products on 5 days of the week. It's 5 different exchanges offering different products. So one per week. So I can still go on speculating. But what could be a suggestion or a workaround this? Because the counterpoint immediately will be that it has to be a free market. All exchanges should be allowed to offer their products, and all exchanges should be allowed to flourish and innovate. So then what would be a reasonable solution that perhaps the NSE could think of and could tell the regulator about?
No, the way we would like to look at it is that investor awareness and education is something that we have to work on. At this point in time, we are probably faced with a population of investors who need to be, well aware of the downside risks of trading options, for example. And SEBI has done some analysis in the past, which reflects that retail investors seem to be losing money trading options. But of course, they may be making money in other asset classes. That aside, it is our responsibility to collectively upgrade and build capacity in the market. Yeah. And if that's the case, then we should be limiting expiries. That's the limited point I'm making. And alternatively, if we say there is going to be one weekly expiry permitted per exchange, then I think there will be some changes that you will see with respect to the selected expiry day for a given exchange at a point in time. Everybody will reserve the right to do what is best for them under these circumstances based on feedback from market participants from time to time.
You're making a solid pitch, sir, but if BSE goes ahead and alters their expiry day, do you think y'all as well will look at the same? or it stays at Monday?
I will not be able to comment on it, but obviously, there could be feedback from people who trade NSE contracts as well. And we are here to deliver what the market wants. We are not here to deliver what our, own, plans are. Therefore, we will keep listening to the market participants, and based on feedback, which is coming in, by the way, through emails and phone calls and everything, which is all being recorded and monitored, and we will therefore take steps as required based on how this situation evolves.
So, Mr. Krishnan, just to finally clarify before we let you go, what you're saying could be a plausible solution is get all exchanges to offer their weekly products to expire on the same day. That is something that the NSE would be agreeable to, right?
I think everybody would be agreeable to that. Why wouldn't they be?
Okay.
All right. Sriram, thank you very much for patiently taking all those questions and explaining the matter at hand. And of course, NSE stand as well, the largest exchange in the country by far. And, it's moving ahead with changes on the F&O side as came through last evening. Thank you very much and look forward to our next interaction.